Hey everybody, Andrarchy here. I'm about to head off for a long weekend vacation out on Long Island. That's an island close to New York City. And before I leave, I just wanted to do a quick video because I don't want to leave for 4 days and not post anything. I just feel compelled to put something out there before I go away, and because I'm already kind of dreading having to be kind of unproductive for 4 days. But I'm also really looking forward to it. I kind of think that I actually need it pretty bad, so I'm looking forward to it. This has kind of become a tradition between me and my friends, a few of my friends. We go out to our friends' wife's parents' place. It's a guy's weekend out, except my buddy's wife is there and her parents are there. But it's cool because they're awesome and she's awesome, and we don't have to change our behavior around her. So we just, play cards, imbibe some beverages, ingest some substances. Nothing crazy. We're not lunatics or anything. Most of us, I think, really just go out there to relax and take a break from the working week. So what I want to do in this video is talk about 3 things I've been thinking about. The first is the 2 types of content I plan on making. They're pretty broad categories, so it's not very limiting. The second one is what it's like to be on the other side of what I call the Steemit Black Hole, or the Steemit spiral. That phenomenon where you discover Steemit and you dive in, and it can be very overwhelming and disruptive to your life. And I'm here to tell you that you can get past it, that it doesn't last, and that there is a happy medium at the end of the rainbow where you can appreciate Steemit for what it enables you to do, what it enables other people to do, without being unhealthily obsessed with it. And the last thing I think you guys are really gonna like, I'm going to open the first piece of art sold on Steemit from @Camilla to yours truly, Andrarchy, and we'll both get to see it for the first time. I'll show you guys first. I'll open it like this, and you guys can watch it first. How's that sound? My cats are insisting on walking around over here. Like this one right here. He's insisting on being distracting right now. Why are you so distracting? Why are you so distracting? Ah, so cute. 8 years I've had them. Never get tired of how cute they are. All right. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the 2 types of content. I might have listed that second, but it's actually the first thing I wanted to talk about. Here's the other one. See, they're insisting on being distracting to me. He's the best. They're both the best. The 2 types of content I want to create. I'm basically going to be breaking them up into scripted and unscripted, because I think people like my unscripted stuff, hopefully like this video, where I just sit down and I kind of blah, whatever's on my mind, with, of course, some parameters to kind of keep me contained. And then the other is going to be scripted content, stuff that's more like my explanation of the differences between Steam dollars, and Steam power. Now, technically it wasn't scripted, but it was highly organized. I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and that enabled me to kind of go up to the diagram and spit out a bunch of stuff. So technically not scripted, but I'm basically going to be dividing my content up in between stuff I put a lot of thought and effort into, that's going to take time. That video took days and days of thinking and planning. If I were to only do videos like that, I'd probably only be able to publish stuff once a week, once every other week, which would totally be fine, by the way. I'd rather do that than put out stuff people don't like. But the thing is that, according to you guys in the comments, a lot of people seem to like it when I talk without a script, when I just talk about what's on my mind. So I enjoy doing them. So if you guys enjoy watching them, I'm still gonna do them, all right? On to the next subject. That is what it's like on the other side of the Steemit Black Hole. Joining Steemit, experiencing Steemit is a very disruptive event because it is a very unusual project to be a part of. And specifically, I'm referring to something that I've talked about in other videos of mine, which is that people aren't used to having their productivity turbocharged the way that Steemit does. Anything can make money on Steemit. I don't mean any crap. It has to be good, but anything can make money on Steemit. We don't really know. It's kind of like a lottery. Somebody put a post up recently where they talked about the casino effect and how powerful it is and the effect it has on Steemit users. The fact that you get kind of random, not random rewards, but you get big rewards, but you never know when they're coming. Sometimes you might get $100, sometimes you might get $1,000 on your post. And that uncertainty actually makes the whole thing very, very exciting. And I know my experience with it was I would put up a post, it would make $5. And I go, awesome, I just made $5 on a post. And then I'd put up another post and it would make 25 cents. And I go, oh, crap. What did I do wrong? I have to do better. I have to make more than $5 now. And so even though I was excited to get the $5 originally, because it was the most I'd ever been paid for content, once I went back down and got what I perceived to be a lower reward, because it was lower relative to the reward that I'd gotten before, it felt like a demotion, and I felt a compulsion to beat my old score. And that happened over and over and over again. And of course, as I learned from my mistakes, as I refined my content, I did better and better and better, but I never experienced it as you're doing well. And so when people talk to me like, hey man, you should be grateful for the amount that you do get instead of being negative about your posts that do badly, they're 100% right. And I hope it never seemed like I was being negative about the fact that I didn't get what I felt I deserved. I felt negative about the fact that I was creating content that I didn't feel lived up to my standards or the standards of people who like me. But point being, because of this reward system, it's very easy to get lost in this competitive cycle, which is great for motivating you to be productive. I don't think I've ever been as productive as I've been since I joined Steemit. If you look at my blog, you'll see like all the videos I've made, all the posts I've made. I've wanted to make videos for the longest time, and maybe I made one every couple of months that was meaningless and appealed to no one. And since I joined Steemit, I've made a bunch in just a couple of weeks. And you know, the person who talked about the casino effect compared it to slot machines. And I actually think a better analogy is poker. Because when you look at poker, it's like poker, where you show up to the casino and they give you a bunch of chips, and the chips actually have real world value. That's more like what Steemit is. Now, when you go play poker, especially if you're playing something like No Limit, now, if you're a good poker player, what happens is you win some, you lose some big pots, and you win some big pots. And then over the long run, you find that you win more than you lose, and you accumulate income. But it's a very volatile process, and some days you feel like you're the worst poker player on earth, and some days you feel like you're the greatest poker player on earth. But you only know that you're a good poker player after you've played 10,000 hands and you see a steady upward trend of winnings. And it's very similar to Steemit, because you're going to have those great days where you put up a post and it makes a lot of money really quick. It makes a lot of money relative to how much you put into it. You're going to have those days where you win that big pot, just like in poker, where you go all in and there's 3 other people in the pot with you, and that feeling is what gets you back playing poker. That's why people love playing poker, is for those moments when you just win a ton. Now, any good poker player knows that those moments aren't what make you a good poker player. It's how you do over 10,000 hands. Everything smooths out over a long enough time horizon, and that's when you know you're good. And so you derive pleasure from both things. The big wins are what motivates you to come in, day out, and do the hard work, do the grind. And then when you look back over time and you see your steady upward trajectory, that confirms to you that your intuition was correct, that you really are as good as you think, and that you should keep going in and keep doing the work. But if you're not aware of what's happening, the way I experienced it was total insomnia, complete inability to sleep, because I was constantly thinking of new ideas, new posts, and I would close my eyes and there would just be a storm. When I have insomnia, there's a substance that I inhale which typically relieves anxiety and allows me to go to sleep. But one of the side effects of this substance is that it can make you creative, that it can make you come at problems from a different angle. And what I actually found was that the effects of Steemit completely neutralized my medicine, and instead the ideas came even more rapidly and they were even more interesting and more worth exploring, and so I couldn't fall asleep. And now I'm happy to say that you do get acclimated to it, that this is the natural state for human beings. Being extremely productive is extremely normal for human beings. It's disruptive for us because we come from such hierarchical, such constrained societies that we aren't used to it. We're used to going through this infinite, confusing labyrinth of bureaucracy. No matter where you are, no matter how delimited you think you are, if it's in your workplace, if it's in your school, there's always this stuff getting in the way. And Steemit just enables you to just create and don't limit yourself, because anything can make money on this platform. Anything good. And you don't even know what anything is. You can experiment. A makeup tutorial can make a ton. A graphical user interface can make a ton. Anything can make money on Steemit, and that's a really liberating experience, but it can be hard to get used to. But I think that part of it is just a time thing. You can't stay that way for too long. So after a couple of weeks, I think you naturally learn how to kind of control your physical state, control your emotions, control how much you're thinking, and you just learn to live with this productive impulse. You don't have to create as fast as you think. I think another thing with Steemit is that you're afraid that if you don't create now, somebody else will beat you to it, and then you won't be able to capitalize. And I don't know. These are the type of things I was thinking. I could be totally alone, but that is the type of stuff I was thinking, and I totally disagree with it now. I think you need to sit with your ideas. I think you need to perfect them. I think you need to not worry about what other people are doing. If somebody creates something that's a similar idea to yours, and they execute it great, then you just have to move on. You just appreciate the art that they created and move on. It's extremely rare, though. Whatever you're creating, you imbue it with your own personal perspective. And so everything you create is original, even if somebody has created something like it. And so I really don't think you have to worry about that as much. Of course, I say this, but I'm secretly petrified that I'm about to go away for 4 days and not watch Steemit and not produce anything for Steemit, and I'm just going to be left behind in the dust when I get back. But I understand that that's an irrational fear. Another thing I've found is I finally appreciate mindless television. I finally appreciate meaningless music because and I've been ingesting those much more. So I just binge watched a series called Stranger Things on Netflix. So good. It was so good. And it wasn't mindless. That's unfair to it. It's really, really great art, but it was horror. And I don't usually like horror, but the fact that it was so scary really sucked me in. And so I literally couldn't think about Steemit while I was watching it. And it was a tremendous relief. And after watching it, I found it much easier to go to sleep because I'd turned my brain off. I'd moved it away from Steemit. You have to take a break from thinking about this stuff so that your unconscious mind can actually start working on it in a different way than your conscious mind does. You have to leave your conscious mind open to it. Otherwise, if you're constantly thinking about it, you're only using your conscious mind. And your conscious mind is creating barriers around the art that you're trying to create. And the unconscious mind is what creates weird connections and approaches problems from directions that you never could have thought of consciously. And so it's really important to let your conscious mind work. And it also enables you to rest, recuperate, and fall asleep. So for any of you out there who are stuck in the middle of the Steemit death spiral of excitement and anxiety and stress and passion, don't worry, it gets better. You'll get past it, and when you do, you'll love Steemit even more because you'll have a healthy relationship with it where you can consume the content in a healthy way and you can produce content for the Steemit audience in a healthy way. All right, now let's get to this piece of art. This is going to be cumbersome to open, isn't it? They look like they did, so they packaged it in 2 pieces of cardboard. I love that this is all very DIY, you know. I think that embodies our spirit very well. And, you know, I don't need fancy boxes and stuff like that. I might get it framed. I think I'll get it framed. But I'm pretty lazy too. Like when it comes to not like stuff other than creating, I can be very lazy. Like Louis C.K. has this joke. I heard him talking to, I think, Mark Maron. He was talking about how he once spilled Tabasco in the corner of his kitchen. And instead of cleaning it up, he was just like, yeah, that's the corner we don't go to anymore. And it just stayed like that for years or something, the spilled Tabasco sauce. And that's kind of how I am too. There's stuff I'm really passionate about and care about and really feel the need to get to right now. And then there's stuff that just doesn't seem as important, and so I just kind of deal with not having it. Like laundry, like folding laundry is one of those where I'm just like, why fold it when I can just leave it in a pile on the floor and then pick out what I need? Okay, I want you guys to see this first. There's a note here. Oh, wow. Okay, so do you see it? Oh yeah, here it is. See? And then there's wrapping on it. So here it is, guys. Is it good? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's good because I can't see it. I know it's good. I mean, I've seen, you know, scans of it or photos or whatever. So, wow. Well, it is great. There's some creases in it. I hope I can smooth those out. That would be great if I could. There's a cat again. There's a cat. Well, oh wow, I love this material that it's on. I don't know what this is, but it's great. Well, I love it. I think it's great. I'm touching it. Is that bad? I don't know. The blacks are really dark. Yeah, it's really great. Thanks, Camilla. It's awesome. I'm really happy about it. I can't wait to figure out what to do with it. There's a cat fucking with me right now. Okay. Well, that's awesome. They sent me a note, too. And I'll read it. I'm not going to read it out loud because it might have private information. Okay. I'll read you some of it. It's very nice. Thanks, Camilla. I really appreciate it. Beautiful, beautiful letter. Love it. She says, I hope that Steam will make your dreams come true as well, and that you can find all you're searching for in life. I wish you all the best and good luck on your Steam adventure. Sincerely, Camilla. Thank you, Camilla. Mwah. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys when I get back from my vacation.